true to the fam. In the booth, you can't do what I can. Yeah, I live in the studio, man. In the summer or the winter, got the studio time. OMG, stay true to the fam. In the booth, you can't do what I can. Yeah, I live in the studio, man. In the summer or the winter, got the studio.
Welcome to That's Your Opinion, Not Mine. My name is Tez. I don't know what your name is. Who knows?
I'm Chris. All right, Tez.
Yeah.
How's it hanging?
All right.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
We've got a special one today, haven't we? We've got a very
Yeah, I really wanted to cover this one purely because it touches upon abuse and addiction. So I thought it's kind of right up our alley, really.
Yeah, it is right up our alley. Definitely. It's been all over the news. It's been all over the internet. We thought we would wait until it got to some sort of conclusion, near enough to the end. On what is it? We could tell by the thumbnail, but
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it's been saturated within the news, like I've said. But I think we do need to touch on this because.
Yeah, I think between us we've got quite a lot of experience when it comes to abuse and addiction. So
and shit in the bed.
So we're just pretty much just going to give our opinion, throw in our 2 cents, and
from what it's worth. You've been on this from day one.
Pretty much, yeah. I did take quite an interest in it, and it's not because I'm a hardcore Johnny Depp fan. I liked him as an actor. I thought he was brilliant, but I was never, I've got to see Johnny Depp.
Yeah, and you told me like a few weeks ago, let's do this. And I said, okay, I'll have a butcher's, I'll have a look. So yeah, you're going to carry me through this.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm going to try not to get too agitated because it agitates me a lot.
This, not me.
No, not you.
Oh.
No.
I know what you mean.
No.
The behaviour.
The behaviour of some people really just pisses me off, really.
It's shocking. It's like the stuff I've seen, unbelievable. How someone, you mentioned it at a valid point earlier on, how someone could have got that far in the business to be being that like disgraceful is beyond me.
Yeah, it's an insult to victims in general, and
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just a fucking insult.
But we're going to dive into it.
Yeah, we are.
Harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day. Even just walking into this courtroom, sitting here in front of the world, having the worst parts of my life, things I've lived through, used to humiliate me. People want to kill me, and they tell me so every day. People want to put my baby in the microwave, and they tell me that. Johnny.
Sorry, I know it's not funny.
It's not funny. But
you know, look, the way she said this, like she's like so matter of fact about it all. It's like playing the victim.
Yeah, and it's the same time.
I know, monotone. It's like, but even when she's talking about a baby, for God's sake, putting a baby in a microwave. She's not very emotional about that either.
No, it's
like you'd be distraught, but you wouldn't be able to say it. Like you wouldn't even.
Yeah, I'd be breaking down. I'd be on the floor crying my eyes out, not in a microwave. It's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Pop-Tart. Do you know what I mean? It's your baby. Anyway.
Yeah, this is just the start, really.
I know. We're not going to peak too early. Don't worry. There's a lot.
No, and that's the problem we've had because there's been so much. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. And that's why there's just way too much to actually cover. Yeah, way too much.
Definitely. I realised that when I was going through it. It's like a minefield.
Yeah, it was just never fucking ending. But anyway, let's carry on.
Baby in the microwave.
Amber, how did Mr. Depp's statements and threats to you that you were discussing, how do those continue to manifest themselves today?
In the harassment and the humiliation, the campaign against me that's echoed every single day on social media and now in front of cameras in this room. Every single day I have to relive the trauma. My hands shake. I wake up screaming. I have to live with the trauma and the damage done to me. My friends have to live with it.
Why is she staring at the jury? Because I can tell you, if she was a victim, she wouldn't be doing that.
You know, she's playing the victim. That's the thing. You know, being a victim and playing the victim is two different things.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all me. Oh, how it's affected me. It's like you've put yourself in this position in the first place.
Exactly.
Through your actions, you've put yourself in this situation. You've been a twat. You know, you've abused people, so don't spin it around. You know, and look, I'll just say, I know a few friends of mine, and there are men in prison, sitting in prison, because crazy women, you know, have done this sort of thing to them. But because they're not high profile, the police believe them. You know, they come in, they go straight for the geezer, they bang them up. You know, I've known, you know, a woman to beat themselves up, you know, to get my mate arrested, and he ended up in serious trouble, and she'd done herself. It's like, there's sickos out there.
Yeah, bitches be crazy.
There are sick women out there, and like there needs to be more awareness over, and I don't care.
Exactly, and the reason...
And I'm glad this has been highlighted.
So am I. I'm glad that Johnny came forward, and the reason why he talks a lot slower than what he normally does is because, hang on, let me think. Wait, hang on, I need to think about this one. Oh, it's because he's a fucking victim. You know, talking about your trauma is very difficult, and especially being a man, it's not done. So he is going to be really hesitant saying what he's saying.
That's right. And look, she's a horrible, horrible person. You know, I don't say that lightly.
Neither do I.
But she's like an evil bitch.
Yeah, and
she's
that's putting
horrible,
it mildly.
I can't really say what I want to say, but she's a horrible cunt. That's what she is.
Yeah. That's, again, putting it mildly.
Sorry.
The way that she's treated Johnny, and to call him like a useless father and all this shit, and it's like, I'm telling you, Johnny Depp has balls for coming forward, saying it how it is, and doing what he's doing.
You know, narcissism is thrown around quite a lot, like, you know, and it is thrown around a lot, narcissism. It's easy to say, they're a narcissist. But, you know, if this was the other way around, there'd be outrage.
Jesus Christ.
Outrage. You know, you'd have all the feminists running around with their tambourine and their floral dresses going mental, you know?
And it's not right. And, you know, Me Too, that whole Me Too
Hashtag
shenanigans.
Me Too.
Yeah, well, why isn't that including men?
Because it's an agenda. It's an agenda. It's all one big agenda. You know it. Black Lives Matter, that's an agenda. Yeah? And that's the truth. I don't give a shit. It's an agenda. It's all bollocks. I'm going to say how it is, I don't care. Hashtag Me Too, nonsense, yeah? It's all rubbish, you know, it's all establishment, and it's all lies, you know. You can go, you know, the recent history we've had, all bollocks, yeah? Now this crazy crack chicken pox, can we say that, yeah?
Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said chicken pox because I didn't want to actually say...
Chicken pox and a monkey.
Yeah, hey, we're the monkeys. Yeah, that's bollocks. Yeah. It's all bollocks. But anyway, back to this. Sorry, that's a bit,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I do.
It's all an agenda. It's all nonsense.
Because if it wasn't an agenda, it should be believe all victims, including men, you know?
Yeah.
Not believe all women, believe all victims.
Yeah. I bet the feminists hate this, don't they? They
Yeah.
hate it. They're reeling. Their piss is boiling.
Well, they should have got someone a bit better at lying than this.
Muppet.
Yeah.
In this courtroom snickering. I'm not sitting.
She was. The day before, she was laughing her fucking head off. I couldn't.
That's why she said it, because she's aware of it.
Yeah, I didn't have time to get the clip together, but go and have a look. If you've got time, go and have a look.
She's a really bad actor.
Bad would be an improvement.
Absolutely. She's, you know, and how she's got a job at that level in acting, God knows what she's done to get to where she is.
Well, I can imagine, but...
Anyway, say no more. We don't want to get into that because that's another whole subject. And we probably do a video on that one day, like the elite in acting and how they've got there, what they have to do to get there, but that's another story. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah.
Because we'll get banned from YouTube, probably.
Yeah, and I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This is horrible.
Here we go.
This is painful.
Oh.
This is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that I'm a human being.
Act like one, then.
Even though you promise that I deserve this and promise you do this, I don't deserve this.
You do.
Hundreds of death threats, regularly, if not daily. Thousands since this trial. We've started people mocking.
Yeah, all the comments on all her social media is non-existent unless you follow her. So there's no way of any random fool to go up and threaten her on social media. So where are all these threats coming from?
Started people mocking my testimony.
They're mocking my testimony. They're mocking.
Because you're full of shit, literally.
Yeah, maybe if you could act, we wouldn't do it.
And if she was like more sympathetic and more sort of humble with it. General society, the normal people who ain't like, you know, who don't believe everything they hear in the media, these people tend to be a good judgment of character. And people have seen straight through her bullshit, basically. It's all an act, and the act is really a bad act.
Really bad.
If you was a G, yeah, and you could like pull it off, then fair play. There would be a shadow of doubt. There'd be some sort of maybe, but shit, there's no sympathy or empathy. Forget sympathy. There's no empathy at all, or sympathy for her at all. I've not come across anyone.
No, and I can...
The hardened liberal lefty, yeah, couldn't, you know, still can't.
You can't, because there's nothing there. There's nothing. You know, I want to believe her, but there's nothing to believe.
The hardest feminists still can't be backing that. Well, I've seen some posts. I've gone on there to see, and you've always got the liberal like feminists who are, you know, no smoke without fire. You know the comments. They don't want to believe it, do they?
No, because
it ruins their agenda.
Yeah.
Gender. Anyway.
Yeah, let's move on from that.
Making fun of my objection relevance.
Oh, stop the emotion. Back to emotion.
It's been agonizing.
What's that stupid
painful,
face?
and most humiliating thing I've ever had to go through.
My kids can act better than that when they're trying to be upset and cry.
She's saying testifying in a courtroom is more painful than all the abuse she sustained from Johnny Depp.
She's off her trolley.
That doesn't make sense.
For your information, little girl, whipped cream isn't whipped cream at all unless it's been whipped with whips. Everybody knows that.
There's so many things I want to say.
I know.
Because it's an insult.
It is. Is it an insult to the real victims who are getting abused and persecuted? You know, and it could have made it really difficult for these people to come forward if it went the other way. This is the bigger picture.
Yeah, and the thing is that she's set us back decades with what she's done.
Yeah.
I know other women have lied, but because she's such, I say let me rephrase that, because Johnny Depp is such high profile. Yeah. So I was about to say her then. This is why it's now going to set us back decades.
You know, we've been in talks to do certain bits and bobs, but there needs to be, and we're doing a couple of bits and bobs that we're going to like raise the awareness and profile of men, you know, in particular, who are targeted for this sort of abuse, and so we're working in the right direction to try and, you know, work with something. Basically, we've got something's in the pipeline to set something up for.
And has been way before this came along.
So to raise awareness, because there needs to be more awareness, and if we can do that, then that's going to be great, because it needs to stop. It needs to stop all this, you know, vilifying. Look, there are geezers out there, yeah, chauvinistic, you know, beaters, women beaters, yeah. There are. Where's my dinner, Sandra? I want it on my table when I come in. Where's my dinner, you slag? There are, you know.
Look, all I'm going to say is, I should have said this in the beginning, I know abuse. I'm not going to go into detail, but I know abuse, and this is why this fucks me off.
Yeah.
And I know sexual abuse, and this is why this fucks me off.
Beginning of your cross-examination last week, I showed you an audio where you told Mr. Depp to tell the jury,
She's horrible,
tell
isn't
the world
she?
that he's a victim of domestic abuse. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified you found it hard to believe that Mr. Depp would tell the world that he's a victim of domestic abuse, didn't you?
Well, he started to say that only recently. He didn't make that claim up until very recently. So when we signed our divorce agreement and we signed a statement saying that neither party had ever said false claims for financial gain, it was relevant and important to me because I was the only one making the accusations. I was the only one making those claims. He wasn't doing that at the time, and he signed his name to it.
You didn't expect as many people to show up and testify on his behalf that did you?
Incorrect.
You're under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs. You didn't expect Miss Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So you think Miss Moss needs to come out of the woodwork to testify for Mr. Depp?
Everybody who was around in the 90s and the early aughts knew that rumor. I had heard that rumor from multiple people. Of course, that's what flashed through my head when my violent husband not only swung for me, but all of a sudden swung for my sister. Of course I thought of that. I did not expect her to show up or not expect her to show up. It didn't matter. It doesn't change what I believed at the time when we were on the stairs and I thought he was going to kill my sister by pushing her down the stairs.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that that wasn't true, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
When you told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, you didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of, did you?
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed. I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will come out in support of him and will fall to his power? He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
So you did write about Johnny Depp then. She admitted that twice.
Well, you know, when you play the victim, obviously, you know, you back yourself up into a corner and what do you expect?
It's just, that was one of the most satisfying things that she's ever said, that I was just like...
You've got a serious attitude problem.
Yeah.
Serious. Like, she's just there's nothing nice about her one bit. There's not 1 ounce of nothing.
No, and the way that Johnny Depp's lawyer is handling her is just,
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
to see.
it really is poetry.
Good.
It really, really is.
She deserves everything she's getting.
Yep. And more.
And more.
I know that
And
firsthand.
received jail time for committing perjury.
Excuse me? I didn't hear your question.
Did you answer my question?
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind, please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have seen
For a
people do
powerful
this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
But it's not about Johnny Depp, no. No, you didn't write about Johnny Depp, no. No, of course not. Of course not.
Wow. She's beyond belief, this woman.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she really, really, really is. This was just delightful about her using the same image for 2 different events.
Okay.
This was just like, you're a donut. So there's such a... That's how stupid she is. I'm having to use the word donut.
Well, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, because this is just donut level stupidity.
Second day of your direct testimony, you testified that this was taken in the downstairs of the main apartment on December 15th, 2015. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to Penthouse 5 that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, yes?
I'm not quite sure from what incident this is when I see this photo in a vacuum without context.
Let's give you that context. Can we please, thanks. I could have day 16 trial testimony.
All right.
Could you please turn first to page 4585?
This was just beautiful. It was just, oh.
One long, angry line later.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'd like you to turn to page 4603. Starting at line 12. 4603. Starting at line 12 and going on to page 4604, line 4.
Okay.
And do you see that you testify that Defendant's Exhibit 512, which is on the screen,
Yes.
is a picture of the downstairs of the main apartment?
That's correct.
And the main apartment is Penthouse 5 in the Eastern Columbia building, right?
No, well, depends on the main apartment's penthouse 3 generally when we say main apartment.
Penthouse 5 was where you had your closet?
The downstairs was kind of like had some of my painting studio set up and a reception area. Upstairs was the closet. Mezzanine office was in between.
All right, so it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to the penthouse 5, that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, right?
I'm just not sure from which incident this is a picture of, since I'm only looking at
Even
a
though your
partial
counsel
floor.
was asking you questions about December 15th, 2015 and then admitted this picture into evidence?
Again,
in relation to that incident.
Sorry, go ahead.
In relation to that incident on December 15th, 2015, this exhibit, Defendant's Exhibit, you are the defendant, number 512, was admitted into evidence in this court. You testified that this was the result of damage that occurred on December 15th, 2015. Yes or no?
I just need to orient myself because I'm just looking at a picture of a partial
No,
picture of a
Ms. Hurd,
floor,
you didn't just
so
look
I
at a
can't.
picture. You looked at your testimony.
You pointed me towards the page and then asked me a question. I haven't actually reviewed it. I don't know if this was submitted in relation to that incident.
Let's actually leave out Defendant's 512 and please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 725, which is already in evidence.
Thank you.
In redacted form, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can publish.
Just side by side.
The best kind of prize is a surprise.
You've seen this photograph as well, right?
Oh, look at
In
that.
your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, didn't you?
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor, so unless you remove the metadata you've covered up, we could then tell. If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Did we unredact
Your
them
Honor.
so we could get context?
That's how it's in evidence.
That's how it's in evidence.
Next
Well,
question.
the metadata next to it is so that
Ms.
to
Heard,
avoid the
Ms.
sort of
Heard, there is
confusion.
no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I thought you would ask me about it.
So you can spill, somebody can spill wine in the exact same pattern and put a wine bottle in the exact same area.
Yep.
And this isn't the first picture that they've done that with.
Yeah. There you go. That's what happens when you play the victim.
Yeah, and when you've got no evidence.
Yeah.
Now you see why I'm like, she's a donut.
It's dumb.
Because how much of a... Seriously, what a donut.
But why would a legal team actually put that in, like, the same picture twice?
I know, and they've done it more than once with different images.
It's ridiculous.
That's why it's like... How did they think they were going to get away with this?
Entitled pricks. She's an entitled prick anyway, so I'm sorry to say.
I don't know why you're sorry to say it.
I'm not sorry to say it, but I'm trying to be a bit polite here.
Little seasoning, eh?
Making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I thought you would ask me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything. Let's look at your direct testimony from the third day.
That's her sister, by the way.
Well, Pitbull tuna wasp.
Yep.
Let's turn to page 4750 in day 17 transcript.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
4750.
Eventually.
Specifically line 16. Do you see where Ms. Bredehoff asked you to describe for the jury what took place on May 21st, 2016?
I see that.
And do you see that your testimony is reflected about May 21, 2015?
Yes.
That follows? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's turn to page 4804 at line 14. 4804. Do you see that you're testifying that Defendant's Exhibit 725, which is reflected on the right side, reflects spilled wine on the floor in Penthouse 5?
That's correct.
Okay. And Defendant's Exhibit 512 and 725 seem to be different versions of the same picture, don't they?
That's correct.
Okay. So which is it? Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015, or May 21st, 2016?
If you remove the redacted metadata, you can find out. It's right there.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
Recognize a portion of a spilled wine on a floor, and I'm supposed to know off the top of my head when you've lived through 5 years of this stuff? I don't think so. That's not how that works.
35 years, did she say?
I think she was trying to say through 5 years of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's in the shit. No pun intended, but yeah.
Yeah, massively.
Massively in the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, it was just delightful, that. Really, really, really delightful.
Not sure I deserve that.
Now, I'm going to start at the very beginning here. You were asked by Ms. Vasquez about why Mr. Depp won't or can't look you in the eye. And she read out, or she played a tape in which Mr. Depp said, "You will not see my eyes again." You recall that?
I do.
And that was during the mediation process in July.
I know he
So
found it
that's what
funny,
we-
but it's just like, really?
That was a bit like...
Yeah, that's a bit...
I always thought a verruca was a type of wart you got on the bottom of your foot.
That was ridiculous, says.
Yeah.
You would not see my eyes. It's
Not
like...
see my eyes
That's like,
again.
make an impression of Count Dracula or something. It's like...
Yeah,
mate,
it's not even a good impression.
that was shit.
They tried stoning me, my dear. It did not work.
But yeah, I just thought that was a bit tasteless, really.
Yeah. It was unnecessary. There was no need for it. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm still trying to work that one out.
It's pathetic. Just like her, really.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Your favourite person in the world, not.
Ms. Moss, did there come a time when you, while you and Mr. Depp were a couple, that the two of you took a vacation together to the Golden Eye Resort in Jamaica?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room, and Johnny left the room before I did, and there had been a rainstorm, and as I left the room, I slid down the stairs, and I hurt my back.
How did you...
The judge is
I apologize,
smiling.
Ms. Moss. Please continue.
And I screamed because I didn't know what had happened to me, and I was in pain, and he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
What a horrible bastard. He came running back, picked her up.
He's a disgrace.
Carried her to her room. I mean, what a horrible... I hope when I fall down a set of stairs, I hope Johnny Depp's nowhere near, because...
It has happened a few times, Tez.
Yeah, but...
Sorry.
Good job for me that Johnny Depp wasn't around, because, God knows what would have happened.
Oh, God forbid.
Jesus, he might have been a nice person. Helped me up and everything. Wow.
Blimey.
God. The audacity of the man.
Cheek, bloody cheek.
Cheek of him. Yeah, and the last thing is the, this was just, I don't want to say staged, because that's such a strong word, but CD that Johnny Depp was working on, his box, that's a tampon applicator. His back is on the other side.
What would that be doing there?
Apparently that's how he sniffs coke.
Okay.
For a tampon applicator.
Makes sense.
Yeah, a man would carry that around. 4 lines of coke.
It is a bit precise, isn't it?
It's very...
It's a bit neat, isn't it? Like, because I know I was like on top of the microphone there. When I was like at it, it was never like that. Like, I had like just shit all over the place.
No, and are you going to rack up 4 lines, not 2, 4 lines, and then bugger off somewhere?
No. If I'm doing 4 lines, I'm doing it now. I'm going, I'll do one big massive one. I'll do a crayon.
Yeah, you're not...
You're not going to do 4 lines and do one. I wouldn't anyway, personally. And if you're an addict of type that I am, that he is, yeah,
you don't...
It's like you've got everything left there. That is definitely set up.
Yeah, and apparently he used to keep his cocaine in that box.
Okay.
In a box like that. A box. You're going to keep cocaine in a box.
It's a bit big, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a bit, it could fall out quite easily. It's a box.
Bulky. If you keep that indoors, I say, if that's your indoor box of cocaine, then
Oh no, he used to have a jar, big vintage jar of cocaine, apparently.
I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
That's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah. There's actually jewellery in that box. There's this little stony thing. So,
Wow.
But yeah, it's a bit precise, isn't it?
It is a bit too manufactured, to be fair. It looks like it's been placed there. It's like, for a purpose. I wonder what purpose that would be.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it a bit more of a wide out, Why is his tobacco on the other side? If he's sitting here, why is his tobacco on that side? And there's actually a jacket, which you can't see in this picture, that looks a lot more like Johnny Depp's jacket than hers. That jacket. That's not her jacket. And again, why is he backing everything on that side? And that's her mug that she likes to carry around. So why is... She's right-handed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she's definitely set that up, 100%.
Yeah. And I can't see Johnny Depp using a tampon applicator. And, no one in their right mind would leave 4 lines of coke like that.
You'd just have a gold tube, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You've got enough money to buy a gold tube and carry it around, like a 24-carat gold diamond-encrusted tube to snort cocaine with.
Fuck it, you just get a giant fucking bowl and just shove your head in
exactly,
it.
Exactly. Yeah. You just be like, next.
Yep, Scarface one, just...
That's it, done.
Like, she took a picture of his weed.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Which is just, again, her mug. Her mug seems to be in all these pictures.
I know, yeah.
It's a bit... Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah.
It was just sensationalising it for her gratification, really.
Yeah, and for someone who used to smoke a lot of weed, or smokes a lot of weed, he's very violent for someone who's smokes a lot of weed. And he's still alive after downing like 10 pills of MDMA and... all in one hit, and yeah,
it's a bit suspect, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It is.
That was very insightful, Tez.
It was, wasn't it?
So, what do you think the conclusion of this is going to be, in your opinion?
If she wins her counterclaim, then there's no way she could win her counterclaim. There is no way she could possibly win that counterclaim. So, hopefully, she loses that. I reckon there's a good chance that he'll win, because she admitted that she wrote the op-ed and it was about him. She admitted it.
He's won anyway.
Yeah, he's won public opinion.
Yeah, definitely 100%, because, you know, there was stages where in the beginning, before he came out, people were like really against him, like with the Pirates of the Caribbean and, you know, the way they done him over. And he was really hurt by that. You know, he was hurt by that, considering he built up that character from the start. And he did speak about that. He built it up and he felt very betrayed the way he said, in his words, he was guilty before proven innocent. And that's what he actually said that, didn't he, in the court? And it's a travesty. And then they started bringing out his character in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and it was like, that was a bit weird. Did they try? You remember when they tried to approach him on that? And I was like, trying to say, it's like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's ridiculous. It's like, it's a character. And they were saying he was off key, basically. And
they were comparing his baseline to them characters, and it's like,
I know, it's like,
what?
I thought that was pretty strange.
Yeah, I was just like, how can you compare his normal non-acting baseline to Jack Sparrow?
I know, it's a character, you know. You can't compare the two, you know. I've done acting before, and you know, there's method acting. You get into character, but it's a job. It's a character. You know, it's nothing to do with, like, you can't compare the two.
No, you can't. You really can't. And I'm still baffled on how and why he would do that.
Listen, there's a bigger picture going on here. Hopefully, you know, on the wider spectrum of things, that men will be comfortable, you know, coming forward now and trying to, because there's a lot of men who has probably suffered in silence. I know a few personally, and it's good that, you know, hopefully they've got the voice that can come out and stop these crazy women from lying against them.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't set back any victim decades, because I've got a feeling that she really has just threw a huge spanner in the works.
Because you know what the police are like, you know, they're always going to, like, go in, men get kicked out their own houses. It's like, I bought this house, like, you know, you're a sponger, and I'm getting kicked out my own house. It's like, what have you contributed? I'm not saying in all, I'm just saying in situations that I've seen, that men are the ones who take the fall straight away. Straight away is the men's fault. And you have to prove yourself to be innocent before you're found innocent, because you are guilty. In this country anyway, in England, you are guilty before proven innocent.
Yeah.
And, you know, trial by media, you know, in America. And but it's backfired, isn't it, on her? Thank God.
Oh yeah, massively.
Thank God, you know, because
obviously she didn't want it. She didn't want the cameras. I wonder why she didn't want it televised. I wonder why. I'm just glad it was, because now everybody can see. Just.
You think she'll ever work again in the industry? Probably as villain.
Yeah, but apparently she's a bitch to work with. That's why, allegedly, why Warner Brothers want to get rid of her.
And they did get rid of her, though, didn't they?
She's in the film for about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
As it stands.
Well, this is abuse at the end of the day, you know. They're getting rid of Kevin Spacey, you know, other characters for abuse. What's the difference?
Well, that, and they kept the guy that plays Flash, they kept him in when there's evidence of him being a dick. I can't be asked to go into detail. And yet Johnny Depp gets sacked and there's no evidence.
Yeah.
And they're both in the same film as well. How does that work?
But you know what the business is like, and I will say how it is. Sometimes you can be too big for your own good, and they don't like that because you've got too much power. You know, it happened with Michael Jackson, with Sony. It happened with Whitney Houston. You know, people die then. Like, oh, they're dead. What's going? You know. So yeah, but you know, without getting too far into it.
Yeah, we won't know.
But, you know, I'm glad it's worked out this way and not the way I've just spoke of.
Thank God.
Because it could have easily turned around. But, you know, yeah. you know, we could actually do a show on it, and it will be whether it will be able to get it out there or not. That's another thing.
Yeah, and it'll be quite a few shows, but whether or not it should work.
Allegedly,
again,
by the way, I said before, I wasn't saying that's the fact. I'm just saying like, people did end up dead. I was just saying factual. You know, these people did end up dead. Why did they end up dead? I don't know.
We don't know that. Can't.
I don't know that.
Don't know.
But you know, sometimes people can get too big, and big corporations don't like that.
No, and I know that she's pissed off Disney and she's pissed off Warner Brothers. The fact that the president of Warner Brothers, had to take the stand.
That's
and
not good.
she pissed off Disney because she asked for them files, but they asked for just look there, but don't look there. And then 5 minutes later, she was taking them to court because they didn't produce all the files. You're going to take Disney. You're threatening to take Disney to court.
You're not going to win, are you?
No. So yeah, that didn't go down too well with Disney. So she's cut her ties with Disney. She's cut her ties with Warner Brothers. There's not a lot of big studios left, really. Very few.
Good. Let's hope she's never on TV ever again.
No, because she can't act. Forget about what she does in her personal life. She cannot fucking act.
I never knew who she was before this, and that's the truth. I never
Same.
knew who Amber Heard was. She's a horrific actor, whatever you want to call it. She's rubbish.
She cannot act to save her life, and I think we've just proven that.
Yes.
Or I should say she's proven that.
She has.
So, yeah, why she's got a career in the industry, I have no idea.
Well, she must have done bits and bobs. Say no more.
Potentially, yeah.
Allegedly. Potentially. Anyway, but yeah, that's your opinion, not mine. We were just going over that. It was very insightful. I'm glad we've got through that.
Yeah, and I never want to see her face again because she's a bitch. She's a bitch. She's a cunt. She's a lying cunt. She's a fucking disgrace to all human races. She's just an insult. And I hope she never discusses abuse of any form again because it's sickening.
She'll probably write a book.
Well, if it sells. It's like she was charging, apparently I heard she was charging like $35,000 for making an appearance to discuss abuse. And it's like, wow.
So she was making money off the back of her own abuse towards someone else.
Yeah.
Profiting off abuse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
That's why I've got even more issues with this silly cunt.
And this is the serious side of it, you know. It's not on. It's not on all this. So to actually lie and to make up things, and you're the abuser, and to manipulate. And you know what? This is only in the mainstream. You know, this is happening thousands and millions times a day. You know, in normal society, people who ain't got money, you know, normal everyday people are living through this abuse. And their voices ain't being heard because they're not high profile, you know, or they haven't got the money to do anything about it. And they're trapped in this abusive relationships. It's a disgrace. You know, it's happening as we speak.
Oh, yeah. She's not the first. And it's going to continue happening, which is just not on.
There needs to be more awareness about it. And, you know, there are, you know, I'm not saying all women, obviously, like not all men, but, you know, I'm glad that it's raised the profile of these crazy women who are narcissistic in tendencies, and they're getting called out, and it's about time as well. And I'm glad, because there's a lot of men sitting in prison because of these psycho bitches.
Yeah, and there's a lot of men in relationships that feel like they can't get out of it because who's going to believe them?
Exactly. So, you know, if you are going through what you're going through, you know, try and speak out because you have got a voice and you don't have to put up with it, you know. And, you know, it should be a law upon itself, really, you know. They should be, you know, if you're caught lying, you know, either way, you should get prison time. Like, you should get banged up, like. You know, if you're coming out saying you've been abused and you're the one who's being abused, mate, that's it. It's over. It should be over for you. Because if it was the other way around, like, there'll be great pouring of, you know, all the feminists in their floral dresses, men haters. If you hate men so much, anyway, don't get me started. I don't want to get
that's a whole nother
lynched.
Podcast. But anyway, so she's a bitch.
She is. So yeah, that was eventful, Tez.
It was, wasn't it?
Thanks for that. That was a bit heavy, but yeah, good luck to Johnny Depp, and I hope he comes back bigger and better afterwards, and I'm sure he'll get all the praise and work that he deserves, really.
I hope so. Well, apparently I've heard some rumours that Robert Downey Jr. is trying to get him on board for the Sherlock Holmes films.
Good.
So
he deserves it. And hopefully he can get help with his substance misuse as well and try and get into recovery and stop the drugs, because maybe he might after this, who knows.
yeah, I mean, well, I've got a feeling that his addiction probably went into overdrive because of certain people. But yeah.
Yeah, that did exacerbate it a lot.
Yeah.
And you'd have to be on drugs to be with her, wouldn't you?
Just a little bit. But anyway.
But yeah, that's been great. You've been watching That's Your Opinion, not mine. We'll be back next week with something or the other. We've got, I don't know, but we'll be back. So until then, it's a bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Stay true to the fam. In the booth, you can't do what I can. Yeah, I live in the studio, man. In the summer or the winter, got a studio time. OMG, stay true to the fam. In the booth, you can't do what I can. Yeah, I live in the studio, man. In the summer or the winter, got a studio.